So for our last two speakers, we're moving from Nepal to Indonesia. So it's wonderful to welcome Yeni Lestari, who's a very busy woman. In addition to being a clinician, she's also undertaking her PhD, doctoral candidate, and she's just taken on the role of the IAPB Indonesia country manager. So thanks very much, Yeni.
Thank you, Jackie, for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. I'm Yeni from Jakarta, Indonesia. And today I would like to share our study. Is it good? Yeah. Our study on monitoring evaluation of surgical outcomes for patients in the cataract social service program of Indonesian Ophthalmology Association in Jakarta region. It's only for Jakarta region from 2019 to 2023. And I represent this study on behalf of Dr. Ferdi Iskandar. He's my resident, but unfortunately that he cannot come to present his study. So as an introduction, cataracts account for over 50% of global blindness, according to WHO. And even though it's treatable or preventable, yet still prevalent due to limited access for surgical care. So our RAP survey in 2014 and 2016 in Indonesia showed that we have a 3% prevalence of blindness, and over 80% of blindness due to cataract. So, and access is being one of our major challenges to conduct the cataract surgery. And in Indonesia, our professional organization called IOA have a charity cataract programs that with the aim of accelerating the reduction rate of blindness due to cataract. And Jakarta itself is one of program that include into the national program. In Indonesia, since 1986, we have already operated almost 400,000 eyes operated in this program. And as you can see that Jakarta is only 1% in number of this total number, but I believe that this study is one of the first study to monitor the outcome of the cataract surgery programs. So, and the study was aimed to do the monitoring and evaluation to the outcome in mass cataract surgery. So the methods of this study is a retrospective design, cross-sectional. We're using the data from the registry and summary records from cataract surgery conducted by the IOA Jakarta branch from January 2019 to December 2023. The inclusion criteria was a patient who underwent cataract surgery conducted or organized by the IOA Jakarta, and the exclusion criteria is incomplete medical record or non-cataract surgery. So based on the registration data from CSSP of IOA Jakarta for that period, we have total 1,502 cataract surgery were performed with 1,088 surgery having complete medical records. So it's 72%. So in the image on the right show that number of cataract surgery per year from 2019 to 2023, with the highest number occurring in 2023, with total of 402 surgery. In contrast, 2022 recorded the lowest number is due to cataract, due to COVID-19, sorry. And in 2019, only 150 cataract surgery met the inclusion criteria. Yeah, so the median age of patient undergoing cataract surgery was 62 years old, with the most common age group being 60 to 69 years, accounting for 39.4% of the total patients. And the majority of patients came from outside Jakarta area. It usually came from surrounding province or district like Depok, Bandung, or Depok, Banten, or Bogor, yeah, which include into the West Java province. 55.9% of patients underwent surgery were male, with the majority categorized as having blindness level visual acuity reached to 68% of them. And the moderate to severe visual impairment is 29.3%. And most of them having immature cataracts. So 97% of the surgery was done with phacoemulsification methods. And we have this result, the monitoring outcome with quality of cataract surgery outcome was assessed based on WHO criteria with good, suboptimal, and poor. And the study found that 30% of eye had a good visual outcome, and 50% had suboptimal outcomes, and 20% had poor outcome. And all the criteria actually didn't meet the target. The total complication rate is 9%, with resident 11.9%, and consultant or ophthalmologist is 8.5%. This finding of this study implied the need for proper patient selection for residents, which could help reduce the complication rate and improve post-operative visual outcome. According to the MSCO guideline, the recommended complication rate for PCR is below 10%, while PCR with vitreous loss should be 5%. In the study, the rate of PCR without vitreous loss was 1.1%, and PCR with vitreous loss was 4.6%. So the PCR complication in the study met the MSCO recommendation and were comparable to reports from cataract surgery in other teaching hospital. One to be reminded that this surgery was conducted in different secondary hospital. It's not one dedicated hospital, so it's mobile to several secondary hospital. So the challenges that we met, that we found that almost 30% of the medical report is incomplete. This is because there is no dedicated personnel that responsible to input the data, because every time we go to the to different hospital, there is a different personnel to fill up the data. And the availability of intraocular lens, sometimes that we know that what the visual acuity that we recorded, we are using the presenting visual acuity. We didn't measure the best corrected, or either with refraction or with pinhole, because there is no stuff to do that. And also the availability of intraocular lens also become our problem, because sometimes that the patient has already conducted a biometry examination, but the diopter or the power of the lens is not available at the site. So future recommendations, refraction should be integrated in our cataract surgery service, but we need to find, because this is a charity program and not dedicated to one institution, we need to find what kind of model that we could integrate into our program, because nowadays or currently the refractive surfaces that happen in Indonesia or in Jakarta is only for children in children eye school health. There is no program that integrated charity program that integrated into cataract post cataract surgery program. So it could be one of the idea or the model that we can try to our community. And also from the idea of or the spirit to do or to conduct monitoring and evaluation need to be spread out to another branch of organization professional organization, and we're tend to do some meeting to advocate other branch to start to evaluate and monitoring their cataract surgery program. So hopefully, if we all agree to do this, it will be in line with our national program that now we are developing our national eye registry. So it will include it into this information system. So that's all. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Eni. I have one question that the majority of the surgeries were performed by phacoemulsification and residents were found to have a slightly higher complication rate of over 10%. What are your thoughts on trying manual small incision cataract surgery, which has been shown to have lesser complication rates?
Thank you for the question. It's also become our big challenge because the residence is taught only for phaco and ECCE in Jakarta. So in Jakarta, in our hospital, we only teach them how to do the phaco and ECCE. We don't teach them how to do how to do six. That's why. And the second one is sometimes the supervisor keen enough, they would like to supervise the phaco instead of the ECCE. The ECCE will be conducted only in mature cataract, and usually in mature cataract, the cataract is not a simple cataract, but it's a complicated cataract. It's not performed by the resident. So the consultant that operate the cases.
Thank you. Any further questions? There's one.
Nice presentation, Dr. Yeni. One question, 27% inadequate medical records. Do you think that can impact your outcome of interest here? And the second, not question really, but a suggestion, please look into your analysis when you are doing that resident versus faculty or anything, that kind of analysis. And you also look at subgroup analysis like, let's say for mature cataract, how it is coming, or for complicated cataract, how it is coming. I'm not an ophthalmologist, so pardon my, taking any wrong terms, if any, but subgroup analysis might help you in understanding, then straight away go for some p-values. And the question is 27.1% is quite high.
Yeah.
So can that impact?
Yeah, because this is usually the dropout will coming from there is no data on follow-up days. So even in the first day, the patient will not come due to several causes, because the distance is far, and also there is no company, the relative to accompany the patient to come to our follow-up site. And for those who didn't come because of the it's too far, usually they come to the nearest ophthalmologist near to their residence. As you can see that most of them is not coming from Jakarta, most of them coming from other suburban areas, so they come to the nearest ophthalmologist. If there is a question about why, if there is a ophthalmologist there, why they come to our charity program, it's because they don't have insurance, or they do have insurance, but the waiting list is long. Yeah. So that's the reason.
Thank you very much.